but he does appear to have a bit of swagger back, doesn't he, Mourinho?
Yeah, which is a pity, really, because obviously the guy, you like to see a bit more humility, but you knew once they'd start winning a few games, yeah, he'd get back to his old cocky self. Oh, well, yeah, but you know you're struggling when TOTTI'S coming on. I think he's older than me.
He's 39.
Yeah, he's 39, yeah.
Did you see him as well? He looked about 4 stone overweight.
He's a brilliant player, outstanding player, but his legs went about 4 years ago. Yeah. And sometimes when fans are applauding you, I don't think that's a great thing, you know. They should, years ago...
It means they're not frightened.
They're not frightened of you anymore,
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I actually think he's made the right call. Whatever people are getting upset about it, if anytime I was sent off in my career, I always thought, did I give the referee a chance to send me off? And if the answer was yeah, then it's out of your hands. And I think the referee's actually made the right call. And everyone's upset about it, and they're slightly unlucky, but it's dangerous play.
Do you think
whether he meant it or not is irrelevant.
Yeah, do you think it's a case, though, often in these situations, you think the referee doesn't know the game, as in from a playing point of view?
If he's flying towards a player, whether he knows it or not, with his studs up at chest height, he is plainly endangering the safety of an opponent.
No, it's dangerous play.
It is.
It's a red card.
But but as Lee's saying, to balance that, he is not aware of that player coming. He's thinking he's going to control that ball in the air.
You said he's not aware, Garrett. Does he not think there'll be other footballers on the pitch?
Well, no, but I think the referee, I can see why.
We can be critical of the referee. We obviously, the referees are very quick to make the decision. He waited actually a couple of minutes.
Yeah, he did.
So he gave himself that bit of breathing
he did.
space. No doubt spoke to his assistant who said, listen, we think it's dangerous. It's a red card. You're saying it's like... he wasn't aware of the player. You have to be aware of other footballers on the pitch.
Yeah.
Does he think he's going to have 20 hours to himself?
Well, I don't think it's intentional.
No,
that's irrelevant.
No, I know it's irrelevant, but what I'm saying is that's where I think he's very unlucky, and Manchester United are very unlucky to go out.
Of course,
but also, if he doesn't make the challenge at that point, if he pulls out for fear of getting a red card or endangering the safety of an opponent, and he's lost the ball and he goes down the wing, then he's going to look a bit of a clown in front of his own crowd, isn't he? He'll be accused of
that is the point. If he looks and he sees the player coming and still goes for it and hits him, I think you can say straight red card. I think there's enough ambiguity there to give him the benefit and give him a yellow.
Okay.
That's what I think.
But it's possibly the ref might argue and the assessor might argue it was a brave decision, Roy. It's a brave thing to do here. The match
Well,
point
it's brave or not, it was the right decision. It doesn't matter if he's brave or not. And listen, Nani's a quick boy to go down anyway. He's not the bravest player on the planet. So...
yeah.
Listen, no, I think the referee got it right. Whether you're United fans and again it changed the course of the game, and you can argue all day, it was dangerous play. Whether he meant it or not, doesn't matter.
But we were talking about full-backs, about which way do you show them, and I always say maybe full-backs should actually tackle a player. Never mind showing them somewhere, actually be aggressive.
I'll tackle you in the car park after.
Yeah.
Stuffing your own team
I've done
up.
some daft stuff on the pitch, but not as bad as that.
That really is.
But again, this seems to be the new buzzword about having a go at teams. It's very difficult to have a go when you're up against real quality players where you can't get the ball back up. And it's Real Madrid, the champions of Europe. Give them a break.
Do you think there's anything wrong with that? Do you think that's... if he plays a really weak team, then...
Well, even a weak team would probably still be the Arsenal, so you can afford to do that.
It's a very good point. That's a very good point.
But there's no reason why United, I don't think, should shy away from dealing with these challenges. And this idea that they're now 6th in the league, I think it's, 19 points behind Chelsea. I think the manager and the players should be embarrassed by that. But in terms of obviously getting their hands on the Europa League, then there's no excuse why they can't do it. And if they
do that, you have to say it's a successful season.
No, I wouldn't go that far.
Two trophies and in the
I don't care.
Champions League.
I still wouldn't go that far. For a club like Man United win the League Cup and the Europa League, with the teams that are in it, you'd expect them to do that. But to be so far behind in the league, I think is nothing short of embarrassing with the players they have and the squad and the money they've spent. It's not good enough. My only concern with Mourinho, he seems to be distracted by the so-called critics out there. He's probably paid 8, 9, 10 million a year. Focus on your own job and don't worry about the critics. Rise above all that. You should be better than that, but he seems to get easily upset.
It's almost as if sometimes he needs something to rub up against to keep himself going.
Possibly so, and that's fine also, but not when he's at it every week. Just shut up and get on with your job. You're getting very well paid for it. Not sure. I've never seen it happen before, I don't think. Again, it's as if they've now said, oh, maybe the warm-up's over. I'm not sure what's going on there, honestly. They should be doing that before the game. It's as if they're now reacting to what's going on. They need to liven up.
Because Lewandowski's got to play Arsenal, and before that, Scotland, and before that, Ireland, and of course, it's Oktoberfest. So maybe, if he overdoes this a bit, maybe that's the way.
Hopefully he'll be drinking like that the morning of the game. He might have a chance. But he's in great form. Hopefully he might do well against Scotland and get injured before the Irish.
Would you not be into them even more in the change room about starting well, about focusing, about being professional?
Yeah, a lot of that will come from the manager and this coaching staff, but ultimately it comes from the player. You got to motivate yourself. I always talk about you've got your pride. You want to do well for your teammates, your family, the supporters, and to turn up like that. But we've seen it so many times from Arsenal before. What, 1 or 2 months ago they went to Nottingham Forest, exactly the same attitude, and you try and make excuses for Arsenal all the time, saying, oh well, you know, they've got younger players, they've got a League Cup coming up the weekend to find. Load of rubbish, honestly. The Arsenal players must drive you crazy.
You didn't think an awful lot of the lads you're defending?
No, I thought it was so bad. The goalkeepers, I think the 2 centre-halves, they were like right side Fred, the 2 lads at the back. Really poor. My goodness, it was shocking.
I think as a defender, I mean, I used to have if you look back over a season, you play 45, 50 games, you probably want to be at fault for around 4 goals. None. But you're going to make mistakes. But 4 goals is...
Oh, 24.
That's not his strong point.
Yeah, good wingers in front of him, let me tell you.
Roy, when you've won in a manner like that, are you allowed a dressing room selfie?
He's the greatest comeback. No.
No, I still say no.
In the final,
Not the
mate.
selfies.
The final.
No, not in the dressing room.
The dressing room?
I still wouldn't agree with that, but listen,
maybe if they win in the final.
It is the greatest comeback of all time. So have you changed your mind a bit? Because this is what you said on the programme in last autumn. You said, win the league and the Champions League, no, forget about it. I think they have enough to get through the group, but later on against Real Madrid and all the big boys, they'll be laughing at Liverpool. Have you changed your mind?
And what did I say after that? Was it another line?
You went on to talk about the defence.
The defence, that was always the big concern for me at Liverpool. So unprofessional of these Chelsea lads, you know, when they go and win the league and then, like Lee just said, the last few years, down in tools under different managers, shocking behaviour.
But he's talking about the player collapsing. That was easier than a training session. A good tough training session. You have 11v11 on the training pitch. That was easier than that. And he's talking about players collapsing. Yeah. What rubbish!
I think overall, I think they're in better shape than Arsenal right now, and that, you know, obviously pains me to say, but they are.
I think most teams in the Premiership are ahead of Arsenal now.
It's late at night.
And he kept a straight face when he said that as well.
I keep talking about England going forward in creativity. They have to defend better. You get the 2 goals they gave away today, the other night. Rose, we see Rose doing that every week, and Jones as well today. I know Lee said we can't be critical, but I can. You know, if you defend like that, you're very hard to win a game of football.
I think he was saying, you know, England would be giving it everything, and there's 5 minutes to go.
Of course they give. Everybody gives everything, but you got to defend. The 2 goals they gave away were really poor.
I guess. I think Seville might give them a run for the money. I've just got a feeling the fact that he can score a few goals, so that's just so it's the opposite of what he said.
Well, they'll give him a game, but they won't win.
He had a really bad night.
Well, they spoke about him having 650 pairs of shoes. Well, he can't be right upstairs. I think I've had 6 pairs of my life. 650 pairs of shoes.
Why are you talking about the shoes?
Pretty unusual, this. We know players that know each other really well and brothers, family members, but to be chatting behind their hands with each other, did this bother you?
Yeah, it does, but listen, he's the boy Pogba, he seems a bit of a free spirit and a bit of a character. But I think it was a little bit over the top tonight, would it be, before the game half-time. Like, they've spoke to each other more tonight than I think I've spoke to any of my brothers in the last 5 years, so all a bit strange. And they're probably chatting as we speak after the game. But I think when the game started, they were focused on the game. All this stuff before and after the game, a lot of nonsense. But that's the modern player, I'm afraid. Greatest game on the planet. That decision there disgusts me, absolutely disgusts me. The Croatian players deserve better than that. It's a ridiculous decision. I'm fuming. Absolutely, I think, disgraceful decision.